Great Monday morning. Let me get plugged in. I realized I wasn't plugged in. Good morning, everybody. Hope you're having a great Monday morning. It is July 11th. It's already halfway point of the year is over. It was last week. That means we only have 6 months left of this year. Um, I was listening to my coach this morning talk about it being the halfway point of the year, and it made me think about that in the sense of, you know, I used to play football. I used to play football in high school, and at the halftime, we'd always go into the locker room, and whether we were winning or losing, or regardless of how we were performing, I just remember there was always a coach who would talk to us, who would inspire us or motivate us or let us know where we needed to really step up and perform better, to do our job, and to win the game, to finish strong. And it just made me think about that and realize that we all are in a game. We all are performing. The question is, how are you performing? Where do you need that pep talk? Where do you need that halftime break so you can gather your thoughts, so you can realize how you're performing and what you want the rest of the game to look like, the rest of the year to look like, the rest of the season to look like if you're in a season. I talk in seasons a lot, just because I'm a new dad. I'm in this new dad season, and it seems like every week it's asking myself that question: Who do I need in my team, or what support do I need, or where do I need to improve or increase my performance better so I can, get through this week, get through this season, get through this month, or even get through this year if I want to achieve those goals. What are those goals? These are all questions that I ask myself. Being a full-time business owner, being a present dad, a husband, still active with the reserves. So there's always, and I don't say that to try and get pity, because we're all in different seasons, we're all in different games, and we all have different um, challenges. And that's one of the biggest things that I often talk about with a lot of the dads that I work with, a lot of the men, is we're all trying to overcome some challenge. What I really want to talk to you this morning and just encourage my listeners, encourage those who followed me, is what support do you need for your team, for yourself, for your family, for your marriage, for yourself even? What do you need? If it's the halfway point of this year, which it is, how often do you take the time to reflect on your performance, or to reflect on your strengths, your weaknesses, the areas and opportunities and for growth? What are those things? Um, and because what I've learned is that oftentimes, if you don't take those times to reflect, you don't know you won't have the right support system, whether they're friends, they're coaches, if you work with a coach, if you have a mentor, your boss, your team. You won't know what you don't know. And when life happens, which it happens every day, um, a storm may come, and you may realize that you don't have the right support system in your life, or in your marriage, in your role as a dad, in your role as a provider, um, even for your own self. You may not have those. And so what does adding the right support for yourself, for your growth, for your role as a dad, as a husband, as a leader, as a business owner, as a team leader, what do you need? What are those things? And how often do you take that time to reflect and answer those hard questions? I certainly hope that this adds value to you. These are the things that I often think about. And what kind of prompted this? There was a huge storm this weekend here in Virginia. I mean, it was wild. It was heavy winds, heavy downpour. And this past year, my wife and I, we got into gardening. I think that's something that it seems like a lot of people my age have getting into, and I enjoy it. It's fun. It's taking something from seed, which was something that we did this year. We took something from just a tiny seed and we planted our entire garden, and now it's growing. There's things, I have so many cucumbers that I don't know what to do with. I made 9 jars of pickles last night because I was like, I just need to do something with these. But the point is, we had this huge storm this past weekend, and 5 of my plants, of my tomato plants, just completely just flopped over, and they broke. They couldn't survive the storm because they didn't have the right support system. The trellises I had weren't strong enough. The stakes I put in, they weren't deep enough, or the plant was too heavy on top for it to be able to support what I was putting it through, and so they broke. And as I was out there while it was raining, and I was trying to make these things work and fixing these and correcting these things, I had that moment of clarity, and I realized that that's me. That's each and every one of us. That oftentimes, we need that support. Or, you may be like me. It's like, oh, I thought I had that support. I thought it was strong enough. I thought it was strong enough to be able to withstand, the high winds or the challenges or the stress or um, the storm that came through. And then it gets knocked over and things break, things fall on the ground, and you have to start over. But it could have been prevented if I had a better system, if I had a better support system, if I had a stronger support system. And one of the things, this is a topic that we actually talk about inside the Mr. Nudat community, is having the right people that you can turn to, having the right support system. Because oftentimes you don't know what you don't know. That's true just about everything. But um, if you want to have a support system, if you need that support system, which I believe, especially if you're a dad, that you should not be doing fathering alone. You shouldn't be, that was the one piece of advice that I seem to be getting a lot of from a lot of the dads that I reached out to early on, is that you will just figure it out on your own. And I think that's the worst advice. It's the worst belief that you should be operating under, because oftentimes as leaders, as followers of business owners, as dads, as husbands, as leaders, we can't do this on our own. We need that community group. We need that support system, that tribe, that mentoring community of brotherhood that we can always turn to, because that's where we can get poured into. That's where we can pour into other people. That's where we can realize that, hey, I need this support system if I want this. If I need accountability in my life, if I'm trying to overcome some habit or sin or behavior or improve my life, whatever it may be, you're not going to do it on your own. And so by having that community, that support system, um, enables you as that dad in that season to actually get through that season. So when the storm does come, which we all know they do come, you have that community of people that you can come to and you can rely on and support and get it, or you may be able to help other people at the same time. And so it's something that it just kind of hit me as I was preparing this garden this past weekend, is how intentional are you about ensuring that you have the right stakes in the ground, or the right boundaries in place, or the right support system on your team if you want to win, or if you want to be successful. What does success even look like? What game, or what are you even trying to accomplish? What are your 90-day goals? If I was to sit down with you right now and ask you, what are your 90-day SMART goals? Whether they're in your marriage, in your business, in your family, in your personal life, what are they? Now, the real work comes in identifying, what does that require of you? If you want to accomplish this, if you want to be a present dad, if you want to increase your income by 50%. What does that require of you? What are you going to have to do in order to achieve those things? Like, how clear are those visions? How clear are those goals? And the minute you take an account of what those things are, that's where the work begins to really come into place, because now by answering those questions and getting clear on that and having that accountability in that group, you can actually work through those things and have that strong support system that you, not only that you need, but your team needs, your family needs, or whatever organization goals, whatever those things may be. So anyway, if this is helpful to you, if this adds value to you, or you're if you're looking for that, or if you're interested in finding a support system that you need, and you're looking for a coach, you're looking for a team, you're looking for a group, feel free to reach out to me directly. I do have a couple of one-on-one, I do coach new dads and dads in that season of life where they are trying to answer those questions, but at the same time, I do have that group through the Mr. New Dad group community that does just that. It provides that support and that community aspect that we all need. And like I said in the very beginning, the worst place for you to be as a dad, I believe, especially if you're a newer dad in that 0 to 5 range, is thinking that you can do all this by yourself. Don't buy into that BS. Don't buy into that belief, because that's the worst place for you to be. You shouldn't be lonely, because that's where you can fall. That's where you can, when the storms come, that stress comes, you're just going to like fall over. So add that support system to your team, because at the end of the year, you can either say you achieve these things and you finish out this year strong, or you'll like have that, I wish I would have done this, or I wish I would have done that. So, it's up to you. So if you want to learn more about that, feel free to reach out to me directly, either comment on the video below, or feel free to message me directly. So hope you're having a great week. It's the start of month. It's Monday morning. It's the halfway point of the year. Let's finish out this strong. But it starts with asking yourself, what support do I need? So get clear on that and you'll do great. Take care, everyone.